2 The Redline Productions proudly presents.
Hey there, YouTube. Well, today I wanted to tour this 2012 Chevrolet Impala with 11,000 miles on it. The only reason why I'm enthused to tour this car is because it comes with the new 3.6 liter dual overhead cam V6, the direct injected engine that's used in the Acadia, Caddy CTS and such. 2012 is the only year that it came with that engine. This is going to be the last model year of this generation Impala, so might as well get this tour over with already. Here's the back, the dual exhaust, flex fuel capable, so it should accept E85. Now, this generation Impala came out in 2006. Really nothing to be that impressed about. The platform that this car utilizes dates back to the late 80s, early 90s, so you can imagine how the handling is going to be. You can see the wheels, 225/60/16s. This is a size that cars from the mid-90s have been using. And you can see from distance they just look so tiny on this car. Give them credit that the car does ride on alloy wheels, at least versus hubcaps. You see the interior, quite old school looking, annoying bong. Here's a better angle of the interior. This is like going back 6 years, everybody. Now here are the adjustments to the seat. Lumbar support in the most odd location. You can see how flimsy this is over here. And this is the backrest. You can see the key, quite old school. Key fob, lock, unlock, trunk, panic. This model doesn't have the remote start as the higher trim levels do. Now let me stress out again, for the 2012 model we really don't have anything new in the Impala, just that it comes with the new 3.6 liter dual overhead cam V6 that GM now utilizes in most of their V6 powered vehicles. So yeah, you get a rather good engine in an old car, so this is quite old school here. So comfort wise, the Impala is quite spacious actually. I mean, the seats are rather soft, but you can see how flat the lower section is. The backrest really doesn't hug your torso, even though that it seems bolstered. But here's one thing that I did notice. The backrest, the lumbar support is just so pokey. It just goes deep into your back. And even as I remove the lumbar support, even to its lowest setting, it still feels very uncomfortable. Like, it still doesn't recede down into the backrest enough, and you still feel that it's just bulging into your back. Another thing that I noticed is that the seats are so wide. You know, as I said that they are flat, you can see how wide they are. They just cram right onto the center console. And you can see over here, look at this. Armrest rubs onto the backrest over here. So, yeah, that's how this car is. There is lots of shoulder room. I do have the seat back a little bit more than I wish. Let me put it forward. Shoulder room is adequate, though the armrest does stop short. I mean, hold on, I do have to move the seat back. Yeah, the armrest isn't really that useful. It's rather far away. And then you have this B-pillar over here, which is not recessed, and so you will be banging your elbow onto here. Also not the most comfortable thing. Now, legroom really isn't a problem. I mean, the center stack isn't intrusive at all. I mean, it's very skinny and lots of legroom. That's not really a problem. But thigh support is actually quite fine. I mean, the seating position is quite high. But again, my biggest gripe right now is just that bulging lumbar support on the backrest, even at the lowest setting. Now, interior quality is definitely where this babe shines. The dashboard is nicely padded, though, look and see how this goes over here. Just lifts right up. You can just see right in there. Yeah, you can see a white plastic. Then we can move down to these fake wood accents. very hollow. You can just push right into it, and it's so shiny. The sun just reflects into you like a mirror, and today's a cloudy day. This grainy plastic you can hear. At least it feels solid, but very grainy and cheap looking. Then we have this glove box, which is damped. It really looks like a shovel. It's so narrow. It's very tiny. They have so much room over here to make the glove box much larger. Then how poorly finished it is. You can see how it just opens up over here somewhat. I don't know if you can make it out on the camera. Yeah, you can see. You can see the gap right there, and then it disappears. Finish of that cap right at the lower section of the footwell to the right. Just an awful finish to that. Then we have the radio. I had it running a few moments ago. It sounds quite early 90s. Not a big deal. Then we have the climate control, quite old school. 3 simple dials, nothing difficult to learn here. We have this tray, power outlet down below, quite hidden, dual power outlets. One thing that really annoys the heck out of me, it's just that they don't have the gear shift indicator over here. Yeah, you can see, nothing. You have to look onto the instrument cluster in order to know what you're doing. Traditionally, when I'm about to put a car into gear, I always look down into the shifter to see what I'm doing. I don't look straight ahead. I don't know. I think they should have just had it listed right here and onto the instrument cluster. It doesn't really cost them anything. Maybe a few extra wires and a light bulb. And you can put it down into low, and you have a manual shift mode. But the stupid thing about it is, you don't even have a toggle switch down here. It actually works through these 2 buttons over here. This positive and this negative. I guess it works, but it would have been a better idea to at least have the positive and negative separately on each side versus 2 little buttons over here. This looks like volume buttons. Okay, it does have a 6-speed automatic, by the way. That's also another first for 2012 in the Impala. And we can see these fake wood accents. Oh, okay. What was this? Okay, that was actually lifted. Clips right off. Anyways, you have 2 cup holders. Surprisingly, they are small, considering this is an American car. Yeah, GM, Ford, and such usually make the biggest cup holders to fit a big gulp or something, like a 64-ounce cup. And you can see the finish of the plastic, not very nice. It looks like it came in 2 pieces and they mended it together with super glue. But before they glued them together, it looks like it was cut with a steak knife. You can see the plastic over here, very ugly. And here's another better example, that finish right there. Center console, there is a power outlet in there, it's somewhat sure-footed. Really nothing else. And again, here's what I mean about the lid rubbing onto the backrest. Armrest is padded, exposed stitching. Steering wheel is average size, nicely thick, leather wrapped, surprisingly. And we have the cruise control here. Hands-free controls. I don't know if this thing will have a voice talking to me or something. I don't want it to. But again, it does have one. Volume controls. And again, what you may want to call a toggle switch or paddles, but here are the buttons for the manual shift mode. Hazards up above, like a car from the 1980s. Turn signal lever and wipers. Steering wheel only tilts, 2012 car, and it doesn't telescope, so. It's like a 5-position setting, I believe. Very old school. Here by the instrument cluster we have the system check, the average MPGs, trip computer, just about everything you want on here, language, if you want to change it to kilometers, those kinds of things. Now here to the side, we have panel dim, push over here, stability control, just latch the trunk. Bung, bung, bung. Then we have the headlamp switch. It does all. There's also an auto setting, automatic headlamps. And again, plastic also runs down through here. You can see the finish of this cover, very uneven, the gaps. It sort of lifts up over here, and then it closes up nice and tight over there. Kind of overlaps somewhat. It does clip off rather easily. Again, also the finish is also very poor. Yeah, you can see it just opens right up. Again here on the passenger side, it's actually nice and tight. Go over to the B pillar. You can see how the weather strip and everything just overlaps each other, and then you have this thing over here that appears to be a gap, but that's actually the weather strip, but that's very ugly. You can see right there as well. And also, into the back, you can see the finish of the plastic right there, somewhat peeling. Very ugly. Headliner is nicely plush, and you have the oh shit handles. They're not damp, so they slam back down. And funny how they have it the opposite direction. Usually they have it upside down. At least the spring is concealed, give them credit for that. There's the mic for the hands-free controls. Only a mirror. You would have thought this entire thing would have been at least a mirror. I understand this is a base model, but just plastic here and a tiny mirror. No vanity light. Passenger side as well. Tiny mirror and a big lid. Slides out at least. You can see the metal bar. Very old looking. Leave it down. We have the rearview mirror has OnStar, as every GM vehicle now has. The map lights are under the mirror. Mirror tilts with a thud. Thud. I hate how this cable over here was just like that to the side. They couldn't have at least somehow route it down the middle over here so it doesn't look so sloppy. But they had it like that. That's how it was. Top of the door panel, padded somewhat. Side as well. But it feels very rough. It's not really that plush, but hey, it's padded. Then we have the window lock, driver window, only auto down. And the controls and switches really feel so cheap to it. Worse than that of a Hyundai. Power mirrors, door locks. When the door handles just slap the latch, it really sounds so tacky. Then we have the door pocket. Again, the rough grainy plastic, and you can see the shavings to the side, the awful finish. Yeah, that is just so poor. Let's just latch the hood. Look at this. The whole dashboard moves when I push it over here. It's not even finished tightly over here, look. It just lifts right up there. And it sort of flexes out of shape here. That is so poorly done. I mean, here's another thing I noticed. Aside from this fly, this little fruit fly, you can see the shavings of the plastic right on top over there. Back seat. Materials do carry over. Same as up front. Same exact door pocket with the sloppy finish right there with the plastic, so you can see. Now here's one stupid thing, and it's the window switch. You would have expected that they had the decency to put it down here, as every automaker does, but they put it right up here. I mean, then you have to like stick your finger inside it, finger the button, and lift it up. Oh, did you hear the way it went up? That does not sound good, and this is a 2012 car. That window regulator sounds messed up already. But yeah, the placement of that button is just awful. And now you can see the back seat. There is no center armrest. It is very cushiony. It is a couch. But I had the seat adjusted where I liked it, and look at this. My leg is just cramming onto the backrest. You don't even have a seat pocket. Backrest doesn't even have an insert or anything. There's no dual air. You just have this little pocket down here. You can see how sloppy this finish here to this upholstery. Looks like the piping that you'll get at a craft store. That is so sloppily made. One thing it does have is a rather large trunk. You can see how huge it is. The seats do not fold down. At least it has a trunk light. Let me step back a little bit. Spare tire. The lining is so sloppy over here. I mean, not that it matters, but still. At least they use struts and not hinges. I think that's the only modern thing this car has aside from its engine. And here we have GM's 3.6 liter dual overhead cam V6. It's direct injected. It makes 300 horsepower, which is impressive, but you only get that 300 horsepower once you have this engine revved at 6,500 RPM, which is just insane because you have almost everyone else producing that kind of power at around roughly 4,500 RPM, almost 2,000 RPM lower. Off the line, this is not going to be a fast car. You really do have to rev the hell out of this engine in order to get this car going. You can see how it is, everything. Yeah, it has 3,200 RPM rev limit, so really can't get any higher than that. It does sound somewhat raspy as soon as you have it in the higher rev range, but that's just normal. Now let me show you with the windows closed. It really sounds similar to the old pushrod engines, the 3.9, even the 3.5 V6, though, the overhead valve engines that they used to use. Oh, I really got it peaking over there. I mean, it's somewhat quiet, but it's not really the most refined of engines. So I think we're about to conclude this tour. I did have experience with the older 2006, 2007 Impalas with the old engine and had the 4-speed automatic. And we already know that that's going to be unimpressive. I'm not going to stress how awful that experience was. But the ride really wasn't a big deal. It was just more mushy than anything. You really don't feel that you're driving a car that you can really tackle a twisty on at 80 miles an hour or something like that. It's definitely a very old school riding car, really a dinosaur. And I would really not recommend this car despite having the 6-speed automatic and the new engine, because you're still driving a car that looks like a 2006 to anyone's eye, plus with a platform that dates back to the late 80s, early 90s, so you will not get the sense that you are driving a car made from 2012. Rides, handles, and drives as if it were made from last century, and pretty much that is true. Another thing to consider, I mean, the base price of this car, the LS trim, starts around $27,000, $26,000, somewhere around there, which is just a complete rip-off for something that looks, feels, and drives so old. We have the Malibu, which is a much better car, uses the current platform, and then we also have the 2013 Impala coming up, which also will come with the new platform, the updated interior, which will just blow this old Impala away. I do apologize if some people may disagree with my views and opinions of this car, but it is just pure honesty. You are just better off waiting for the new 2013 model coming up, and just ignore the 2012 Impala. But anyways, YouTube, thanks for watching, and that concludes the tour of this 2012 Chevrolet Impala.
Yeah, here's some legal stuff for you. The views and opinions expressed in the following video may not necessarily reflect those of the title-holding automotive dealer or the entity they represent. All videos are filmed with permission by a professional driver on a set course with the collaboration and assistance of local law enforcement authorities. Do not attempt. Logos and brandings of vehicle manufacturers, dealerships, and online social media sites are the sole property of their respective representation used with permission. The Redline logo, soundtrack, and web resources, as well as all other associated media, are copyrighted intellectual property of The Redline LLC. All rights reserved.